Aloha, I'm Jill Tokuda, and I'm the Senator for the 24th District, which includes Kane'ohe and Kailua. And today I'll be answering a question from Hannah from Kalaheo High School, who is participating in our Education Week Ask Your Senator program. And she had a few questions for us, and in particular, she wanted to know, how does one become a senator and what are their responsibilities? And in addition to providing testimony and going through bills and attending hearings, what are other ways that students can be involved in the legislative process? These are outstanding questions, and I will note that Hannah was part of the Secondary Student Conference, so she's well on her way to already not only being involved in the legislative process, but hopefully maybe one day being in the legislature herself. So great questions, Hannah. First of all, how does one become a senator? You have to have a passion, obviously, for public service. And so you've got to prepare yourself to represent your constituents and put yourself on that ballot. Take that very first step. Run for office. You know, when I was really thinking about this, I had to ask myself some basic questions. Do I feel that I'm ready and qualified to be able to represent my friends, my neighbors, my constituents well? And that was a very tough decision, and one that I had to come to in discussions with not only myself, but with my family. And then had to take that leap of faith. It's a personal decision and a tough one for many, but I can tell you that it was a very rewarding experience for me. And I would recommend it to anyone who really feels that public service is their calling and it's the way that they can make a difference for their community. So definitely that's the first step to becoming a senator. In terms of responsibilities, it's really about representing your community, being their voice, addressing their concerns. And when you're here, it's about deciding what issues are going to be the ones that you champion. For myself, it's really been about focusing in on those educational issues. And so as a Senate Education Chair, I've really focused in on those P20 issues, from early learning all the way to higher education. How can we make the most difference for our students? How can we help education be that great equalizer for our people? As the beneficiary of public education for myself and soon for my own two little boys, I see that as the greatest area that I can make the difference. And so that's one of the big areas of responsibility for me, is to really work on educational reform, policy, and actually to work with many students in terms of how they feel that they can make the most difference in our public school system. And so those are some of the responsibilities that I have, in addition to meeting the needs of my community and focusing in on the problems and concerns of my constituents. But how can students be involved in addition to testifying and attending hearings and being involved in the legislative process? I tell all of them, first of all, contact your legislators. And if you're not sure who that might be, call my office and we can help make that connection. They can come to the Capitol, they can consider an internship, they can even shadow for a day if they're not sure what they'd like to do. They can be involved in any which way that they'd like to. It's really what they make of it as well. Perhaps they might want to consider writing their own bill or resolution if they've got a great idea that they'd like considered. We've seen many bills and resolutions come through the legislative process, even go through completely the legislative process, become a law, pass all the way through the House and the Senate as a result of a student's idea. And so that's what I would recommend is, in addition to testifying and just watching hearings, you can also take your thoughts and turn it into action. And we can definitely help you through that. So there's many ways that you can be involved in the process. And if you're not sure how, it can start with a simple conversation. I'd be willing to have that with you, but we can also connect you with your individual representative or senator, and they can have that with you as well. So it's been a great education week. We've had a lot of great conversations with students and teachers and principals, and I'm really looking forward to next year's one as well. And perhaps more questions from students in our third annual Ask Your Senator program. Mahalo.